What's going on at IGTV, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you guys are watching this? Hopefully, you're enjoying your Saturday, getting out there doing some shit you love with people you enjoy because you know your life is too short not to be doing that. I'm going to read over an old podcast here called My Nightmare. If you head over to the Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast on iTunes or Spotify, you guys can give it a listen in a little bit more detail. But I'll read through the show notes here so don't get lost. I'll give you guys, the biggest detailed breakdown I can. And when I say my nightmare, I want to preface this by I'm not telling you guys to go quit your job this very second, so don't quit your job, dude, and then your wife comes home and she's screaming at you, and then you told her I did it, and then she calls me and hates me for it. That's not what this is about. It's just me sharing my story real quick and maybe giving you guys a different perspective. If you're stuck in a rut, looking for direction, maybe you are holding back on starting a passion project or a different hobby or doing something else that would bring your life more value and joy than just trading your time for money. So take that for what it is. So I used to have these horrible nightmares years ago, and it would be the same dream over and over and over again. And it was me working in the same 9-to-5 cubicle office life bullshit. Pretty scary, I know. And me personally, I'd rather work 100 hours a week for a little money doing something that I love than work 40 hours a week for a bunch of money doing some shit that I hate. And that's just me, and that's how I roll. I personally enjoy things like reading, writing, fitness, nutrition, actually helping people in real life in a way that I can see, I can hear, I can touch, I can feel, opposed to just sitting on my ass, typing some bullshit reports, going to meetings that I don't give a fuck about. Not to mention now, my work attire is basically t-shirts and shorts. That beats the suit and tie stuff any day of the week, especially in Scottsdale when you get in your car and it's 117. Rocking a suit is basically like wearing a giant diaper all day. Not super fun. I never thought about being my own boss, running a business or managing multiple websites and people and programs. I never went to school for business. And before the age of 24, it never really entered my mind that I could do something like this. I didn't have a 5-year plan when I started, or even a real idea of what the hell I was doing with my life or what it would look like as a fitness entrepreneur, I guess if that's what you want to call it. I just knew I wasn't going to make it in corporate America. I sucked as an employee, or I guess I was average at best, which to me is basically sucking for that matter. But for most of my young life, probably 15 to 24, I bought the bullshit that school and society would tell me and was selling me that I had to do. The quote unquote, like, you have to go to college to get a good job. You have to work your way up the ladder, quote unquote, to be successful. And you guys have heard it before. And let me say, for some people who might be out there, that might be the ideal. And that might be great. You might go to school, you might get a job at a Fortune 100, Fortune 500, and you're part of the machine. You're a doctor, a lawyer, accountant. You probably have to do those things. But it's not a one-size-fits-all program. And I think that's flawed. And I can promise you, it's not a one-size-fits-all for happiness. It wasn't for me. I'm not telling you guys to quit what you're doing, but I knew I was dead inside doing this shit. And I would, I would live the life that a lot of people are living watching this Monday through Friday, hate it, pray for the weekend shit. And that's just a terrible way to live your life, wishing away 5 of 7 days, dreading Monday and praying for Friday. It's a really disgusting way to live life, and I was doing it. And so flash forward, 10, 11, 12 years later, I get up every single day at 3:50 in the morning and basically do exactly what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it. And why would I share it with you guys? For the simple fact that I'm just a basic dude. I'm probably more basic than a lot of you. In reality, many of you are probably far more intelligent than me. You're probably more charismatic. You're probably more talented across the board. I have so many character flaws, and one of the giant ones is I hate doing shit that I don't love to do. And if I don't enjoy doing something, I put literally about 0 effort into it, including dishes, laundry, you name all the basic stuff. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna go hard on it. I just won't. But luckily for me, one of the giant flaws is my extreme OCD, which can probably drive my wife nuts, for example, but it also allows me to excel at shit that I love and really go hard on the things that I'm passionate about and I enjoy. And me personally, I got fed up with, what I used to call the Sunday sickness, and my homies and I, we would trade our chats, and I got this in middle school and high school, college, and even my only corporate job ever. I got what I called the Sunday sickness, this feeling of anxiety around Sunday at probably like 2 o'clock, thinking about all the horrible bullshit I had to go through during the week. And I dreaded it. I dreaded school my entire life. I really hated the machine. I didn't excel at a lot of things. They didn't put me in a place to be successful. So to me, school, failed me. And it just wasn't who I was. And the takeaway, if you guys can relate to any of this at all, take 5 minutes right now. Step away from your computer, from your phone, from the podcast you're listening to, and just think, what the fuck am I really doing with my life? Like, what am I really doing with my lifetime? The most precious commodity next to my health that I have. And again, I'm not telling you to quit your job or do anything drastic. If you have, bills to pay, mouths to feed, kids, family, mortgage, car payments, whatever, do things smartly. What I am saying is don't get so busy working in your life you find yourself miserable, worn down, and dreading Mondays like I once did. Make sure you make time to work on your life, finding the things that you really love and merging them with work so you aren't just wishing for the weekends. Life is far too short, you guys, to not enjoy 5 out of 7 days of the week. I promise you that. So again, the biggest key is, you guys, find stuff you love, find things you're passionate about. In the day and age we live in now, with the phones, with YouTube, with podcasts like this, with resources and people, you literally can create a business talking about fucking Care Bears. You can create a business talking about Ninja Turtles if you're passionate enough about it on YouTube and the internet and Shopify and eBay and all the crazy things out there. There's so many things. If you guys have a real passion and a real gift and a real talent and you work on that and you go crazy on it, I can promise you it can change your life. Now, you might have to stop watching, 10 hours of, Netflix every weekend. You might have to stop sleeping in. You might have to stay up a little bit later. You might have to sacrifice some material things. You might have to drive a Honda as opposed to a BMW. But if you're happier, if you have a better quality of life, if you have more time to do the things you enjoy, if maybe you make less money, you live in a smaller house, but your happiness goes up tenfold, wouldn't that be worth it? To quit a job making $100K a year you fucking hate and doing something you love for $42,000 a year? Again, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just sharing my personal take. And the crazy thing is this. Once you get out of that structure, that system, and your brain is free to do what it's passionate, what you love, if you're good at something and you work 100 hours a week at it, I can promise you you're going to make way more money doing the shit that you love than trading your time for doing the shit that you hate. At least that's been my experience, and hopefully it can be the same for you guys. So if you dig this message or you love it, share it with somebody, because I know the effect can be powerful by them hearing somebody else say it. And again, if you guys want to drop me a comment, leave below, ask a question, I'm happy to help. But again, ask me a question on how I transitioned from my 9 to 5 to being self-employed for over 11, 12 years now. And I'm happy to share whatever little advice I can give. But I just know I'm a way different person now because of it. I'm way happier, I'm way healthier, I'm way more passionate and driven. I'm a different human being of how I think and move and live my life. And I know a lot of you guys, if you can break out of the box and a lot of the shit that people have sold you that you have to do it a certain way, your life can be different. In my experience, it's been a lot better, and it can probably be the same for you. So anything else you guys want to hear on these videos or the podcast at all, hit me a message, type me below. I'm happy to talk about it if I can speak on it with any intelligence whatsoever. And again, please share that with somebody, because the cascade effect that you guys have by sharing this goes far beyond your reach can ever imagine. So until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please, you guys, keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy, because your life is too short not to. And again, remember, life is far too short for you guys not to enjoy 5 out of 7 days every single week. Find some shit you love, do it responsibly, leverage up, put everything into it, and maybe you can find something you're passionate about like I am and live, what I consider a pretty badass life. So have a great rest of your Saturday, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.